cleansed and integrated. And I found that the most powerful tool is awareness. Awareness is what heals. It's a fairly simple process once you gain the awareness of releasing trauma and allowing it to move out of your life. I'm at the point, right now in my life where I'm been in New York probably 18 years and I'm ready to leave. It's like I've hit a wall where it's time to go, And energetically I'm growing and expanding, but now I feel very trapped and constricted living within the confines of New York City. I sense and feel everything around me. I walk down the street. I know what people are thinking and talking. I know what they're avoiding in life, and it's very painful to deal with all this information and to be able to kind of operate in a place of peace and balance. And I know that since I've gone through 3 stages of having to change, that, I'm going through another change, and this is one that will probably propel me out of New York City and into a new world. And it's always the point where you're, one world is dying and another world is opening up. And, part of me is dying here. There's a sense of loss. I've lived here a long time. My family's been on the East Coast for a very long time. So energetically, we're rooted, within the Northeast and specifically New York City for generations, easily, 100 years with our whole family structure. And, my whole mindset and condition, my mind is conditioned by my environment, a lot of it. So New York City is a very big part of my personality, and so the limits of New York City, where it's very good for building up strength, is very good for building up the ability to succeed in business, certainly, to build up the rational mind. It's very weak in its ability to connect emotionally with other human beings, to open up psychically and spiritually. These are the deficiencies which New York City will not nurture and block off. And, right now going through another void period where, as I go through these voids, everything just seems to fall away in my life. So all the old relationships begin to fall away. I feel like I'm walking down the street and I'm the only one on the street and everyone else is operating in a different world, in a different sphere. Christ on the cross said, my God, why have you forsaken me? Well, for a brief period of time, he was now in a void where he had no energetic support. He was in a transition phase. These transition phases can last, a short period of time, or they can last, a long period of time. And then there's levels of intensity that vary. And, it's an unfolding, unwinding process. So there's this cycle of going into the light and then going through the darkness. And as you go into the darkness, you feel the experience of everything leaving, and the sense of loss, like the wind blowing through your life, is you're feeling the effects of the negativity leaving. So if you don't over-identify with the negativity, everything will be fine. If you don't get caught up in regenerating or restarting the dramas, the biggest mistake people make is you're doing a lot of high-energy spiritual work, and all of a sudden you start feeling bad, and it's like it's not because you did something wrong, it's actually because you did something right. And also it's a sign that you're strong enough to be able to withstand the shocks of the truth, and it's the truth that sets you free. And so as you digest the truth, the bittersweet pill, it's bitter when it goes down, but it's sweet when you come out the other end of it. You begin to expand again. So the cycle of expansion and contraction. So the expansion is a release of negativity, and the release of negativity can come out physically through toxins. It can come out through warts. It can come out through physical pain that will appear briefly and then disappear. It can come out through emotional pain that will appear briefly and disappear. It could be mental anguish. As you release these old patterns, this old stuff, it is processed through your consciousness. And the beauty of the bioresonance technologies, the tachyon wands and mirrors, etheric water, is it moves through your world incredibly quickly if you will, just allow it to happen and to continue like the old prophets would say, or the monks would say, what before enlightenment, chop wood and hold water. After enlightenment, chop wood and hold water. So basically, you just want to continue to function in your life, and maybe you focus a little more on taking gratitude for what's good in your life. It's the anchors are what is real and true, and you hang on to those things. And when you hang on to the things that you know are true, you will get through all the other stuff, because all that other stuff is transitory and not real. There is a beautiful world out there, and it's coming, and it is a byproduct of a tremendous amount of will and effort. So there are going to be dark periods in your life. There's no escape from that. What we can do to help you here is to move through it very quickly, and it doesn't have to be a 20-year saga. It doesn't have to be a Broadway play that's been going on forever. It really can be hopefully a smooth and adventurous journey, rather than just a series of traumas that kind of keep repeating themselves ad nauseum. A lot of my spiritual growth prior to the use of orgone and the bioresonance technologies at Ascension Energy was very boring and mundane. It was like a waste of time. It was a lot of the same experiences over and over and over again, and I didn't really learn very much from it, because the experiences were not intense enough for me to understand and for me to gain the leverage on myself to let go of them. So now, under high energy states with higher energy technologies, the experiences can be quite intense, but the levels of understanding and awareness are also very intense. So the end result is I do not make the same mistakes over and over again, and I have a high enough consciousness to be able to make the correct choices in the sea of debris or negativity that is all around us. There's a very intense clearing going on, not only personally, but also worldwide right now. So there's just all this upheaval with, are we going to have a depression? Is the country going to collapse economically? Is there going to be martial law? Swine flu, whatever. All these things have an effect on our psyche, whether we understand it or not, and they all have an influence on the decisions we're going to choose and make. So the more things that we have under our belt that can prop us up energetically, the better our choices are. And our life is a function of our choices, a decision-making process. The only power we have in the world is the power to make a decision. We either go left or right or do nothing. We can go forward, we can go backward, we can stay in inertia, we can crawl up in a ball in the fetal position in the floor, or we can have the strength of will to be able to go out there and find solutions that may not be in the appearance right in our fingertips, but with a lot of energy and strength, you can begin to act spontaneously and with courage, and you will create a life beyond your wildest dreams. Because it's the basis of a great life is having character, courage, honesty, and truth, all that stuff. That is what will get you through life. That is what will get you through the difficulties. It will not be a 401k plan. It will not be health insurance. It will not be car insurance. It will not be any kind of things on the material realm. It's a function of internal drive within the self. It's a function of high energy states. And so what we're offering here is the ability to help build your character to the point like you can withstand anything. And that is the caveat. It's not that you're going to always be happy. It's not that but you're going to be strong enough where you're going to be able to meet every challenge, and for the most part, you're going to be able to make the correct decisions in the face of the immense spiritual challenges that are coming up in the next year or two, if you're not going through it right now. I mean, this is the big change, right? There is no other. We're going through a tsunami of events right now. This is it. So now is the time. And now is the time to really, begin to live a life. Because you live life when things are dramatic. You don't live life when things are stable, dull, and boring. It's really when you're tested is when the good parts of the personality will begin to flourish if you have the energy to carry you through the moment. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to turn it over to you, Bill.
Okay, Kevin. I guess I've had a chance to watch people on the machine from the beginning, and I've done a lot of experimenting. I've done a lot of experimenting with myself as well.